Hello everyone, I'm AndyDavo and this is another replay analysis video. Hopefully you enjoyed the last one with the Dark Elves, and this game we're playing into something completely different. I've got some Undead. If you remember, we did manage to level up a player, so we have now got a short... Oh, sorry, we didn't get a sure hands, we actually picked up a leader goblin, so he rolled a double, and I think after much deliberation I decided that a third reroll overall would be better than just a second reroll on the critical pick the ball up. We've spun into some Undead, and the Undead are also have played at least one game, and they've got a guard mummy. This is probably a pretty tricky matchup for us, because guard here is a big problem. How on earth am I going to deal with this? We've got to try and avoid the mummies getting punched by the mummies, sorry. And this is an entirely different setup. So before you saw me go with the banks of 2, this is a variation on the rule of 5 or the boat setup that you'll see people talk about. The idea here in this setup is twofold. One, we split these guys up because it splits his line of scrimmage up. If we get a perfect defense, we can go and stand in the middle on all 3. And 2, we are just protecting the goblins from any mighty blow hits. I couldn't possibly expose a mighty blow hit to a goblin because his mummy can just swing in and punch. One little just nuanced thing about the setup, the rule of 5 setup that I'm bringing in here is what I've just drawn on the screen here. So a lot of the time you'll see a player here, and a player here, and then they just put the other 5 players in those squares there. Now, when someone blitzes, because the bull centaur square is open, if they get a push, they get pushed into that square there. In this example, when they get a push, it goes into this square here, which gives you a counter block. So it's a subtle but better improvement to the rule of 5 if you can afford to expose 5 players. So in this example we can. I think we can put the bull centaurs there. So it gives me a slight piece of advantage if my opponent doesn't roll a POW. Now they roll double skulls and then they re-roll it into knockdowns. So never mind. But it is there. So sometimes it gets just a little bit of advantage for you. And that's what we are looking for here. Just these small pieces of advantage. Down a chaos dwarf blocker turn 1 is a bit of a shame. Wow, that's aggressive. Yeah, well, I'm not sure about that. I think you just have to be, that's a shame. Because you're opening yourself up to someone important dying. No, I don't like that. I think that was a mistake. That was a frustration mistake, almost certainly. Less bad because he's only got 11 players, so he's probably not fouling, but still pretty bad. I think what we're looking at here is probably throwing a 1 dice into the mummy, because it means I don't eat a mighty blow hit. And if that had been a POW, we could have got 2 dice in the mummy, because we could have then had all 4 of these squares here. So protect the leader, bring this guy across, stay away from the mummy, throw the 1 die. Excuse me. Now look at this, you know where he's going to go. He's going to go this way, right? We know that's going to be the thing. And we also know that we're going to struggle to get 2 dice here if he's smart with his Zombarinos. This whole drive's going to be a problem. Now, I think of this drive at this point is this stabilization phase. So if you are watching this and thinking, well, how do we go from being on defense where we're in trouble to being on defense where we're actually starting to try and really impact and affect the drive? Well, I think of it from the point of view of stabilizing. We are not a defense that is choosing what's going on right now. We are a defense that is having to react to absolutely everything that's been thrown at us, and it's not stable. How do you get to stable? Well, stable probably is just defined by having all of your players broadly stood up and being able to go where you want them to go. Broadly. Right. I think this is the first turn where we have a decision to make. So, if they stand up they will just get bowled over by these guys. And at the moment, they'll get bowled over by these guys no matter what, because the mummy can stand in there. That blocks, that blocks. So if you stand them up, they will take two blocks. But he might use a reroll, or he might roll pushes, in which case that actually helps stabilise. At the moment, they're not helping stabilise at all, and we're now on turn 3. We're a little bit past, turn 1, turn 2, you can decide whether you want to stand them up. By about turn 4, you have to stand them up. Otherwise, they're effectively KO'd. So, while I don't like that, I think they have to stand up. It also then says, well, we then need to sort out these whites. So, if we need to sort these whites out, that's going to need to stand up, which means we need to double tag in here, and I think we need to blitz one of these 2 whites. The only way we can do that is use the bull centaur. So this turn for me is designed around stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand this guy around the side, 2 dice that. Hope that's a POW. If it is, follow. Bring that guy around here, and then blitz with the bull centaur. And I think that turn sort of plays itself out. I don't think there's much more you can do here. If you want a variant on it, you could stand that guy up, blitz here. Probably, and then you're going to slam the other bull centaur in there. Which maybe that's actually stronger. Maybe that is, because it stops this guy getting bowled over. That probably is actually stronger at this point. Yeah, I think I prefer that second play, actually. Yeah, certainly blitzing there or blitzing here. Yeah, I prefer that. Because slamming this bull centaur in that square does nothing for me, because this is just all going to get annihilated. Yeah, that was a better play. Interesting. Yeah, that guy not being knocked over would be quite nice. And look, we've got this into a box, into there. So he doesn't even have to move the mummy, and he can get 2 dice. We're on turn 4. He probably wants to start thinking about just coming this way, I think. Yeah. You don't have to be too aggressive with it, but I think you should just start taking that space when it's available. Because we're on turn 4. Yeah, you don't have to be too. Yeah, that's probably about right. You don't have to come any further forward, but you do want to start thinking about that space. Now, if we go and put something in here, we can get this bull centaur out, and we can get it round the side. So, really what we want to see is stand something in here, block 2 dice straight forward, and then we can get the other bull centaur out. Is this the turn? I remember there's a turn in this game that's got a big mistake in it. I hope it's not then. I hope it's not. Oh god, it is. Yeah. Oh dear. That'll cost me the game. That'll cost me the drive almost certainly, because now they're both lying down when this one should be somewhere down here, threatening this ghoul, and they just get to walk around and here have a free zombie to tie up both of these. That was, oh dear. Oh, that's such a rookie error. So far we've learned from this game, don't make rookie errors. And we've also learned, don't power up things on turn 1, because that Chorf blocker, whichever it was uniform, I think it actually was that one, isn't going to change the course of the game that much, right? It didn't have guard, mighty blow, claw, blah blah blah. It was just a rando blocker. I think I'm putting too much stock in not losing a player out of the gate. Okay, we need to get these 2 off the floor. Yeah. It is worth noting here, I'm just going to pause this, it is worth noting that if I was prepared to throw 2 dice uphill here, which only has a fail state of about 18% if you throw in a reroll at it, and you've got block and they don't, we could block there. If that's a POW, which is pretty unlikely. But if it was a POW, we could throw one dice. Well, in fact, even if it's not a POW, we throw one dice there. We can block there. We can block there. One of those two will be 2 dice, and one will be 1 dice. And then this goblin could come and stand to cancel this guy out. Or we could start thinking about trying to throw a 1D in here. If these bull centaurs had been stood up, we absolutely would have been doing that, I think. So the compound sort of mistake interest really from messing up with the bull centaurs is going to come and punish me in turn 5. Get 2 dice in here. You should be there. Yeah, I think you should have been there. Because if you'd have gone there, we could have had 1 die. We can get 2 dice there. If it's a POW, this bull centaur could have been stood where the goblin is, and we could have 1 dice the guard down, and the guard is a big problem. Yeah, and if we'd have collapsed this, then although he can score, we had a chance. Yeah, I think it was a mistake. Because I went and put it there anyway, so why? That's not doing anything for me. That square isn't actually as strong as the one behind it because he's got to do something to one of these players. Imagine he rolls a POW, you're then lying down in one of these 3 squares here. That's a problem for him. Right, so he's going to score. Take a quick swig of tea. And I think here, actually, he didn't need to score this. Like, you could have dragged this out. So you've given me an opportunity to win the game, which I don't think you needed to give. I think there was a really simple graphic that I drew. I'm going to see if I can quickly knock it out now. Because I think this sort of demonstrates it, right? So if I wrote 8 there, then we had 7, and we have 6, and we have 5. And underneath it, if I just quickly drew the percentage chance of someone scoring, so if it is your turn 8 and you've got 1 turn to score, the percentage chance of even wood elves scoring, maybe like, let's say 10%, right? It's not very high. If you give wood elves 2 turns to score, their chance that they might score, and there's so many variables, so it's not like it's a given percentage, but it probably jumps like to maybe 30%, right? With plus or minus 20% depending on how many players you've got, how many rerolls you've got, what teams you're playing into, etc. Again, with wood elves, 3 turns to score because you scored on your 6, so they get 6, 7, and 8. That percentage probably jumps all the way up to 50%. And if you give wood elves 4 turns to score, the chance that they should be able to score is probably as high as 70%. There are so many variables. These are not proven statistics, but I think the point is that he's chose to score here, right? He chose this. Now we're not playing with wood elves, so that 50% needs a line through it, and we're playing with chorfs. So if we're playing chorfs, maybe on turn 8 that percentage is 0%, because I'm not going to score on 1 turn. On 2 turns we're maybe looking at maybe 15%. Here we may be looking at 30%. So he's given me a 30% chance of winning game. And if you play that over 10 games, not just this one, because the point is we're looking at this to try and improve over a 50 game period or a 100 game period, then 3 out of every 10 games you do this, you're going to be 1-1 at the half. And you're probably now going to have shifted from the win column, win-draw, into draw-loss. So you've downgraded your probability of winning, or of getting your result, down by 1 overall result. So if you can stall in this low TV environment, unless you're monstrously far ahead, you should. Nice segue. It's certainly something I teach out in the coaching sessions that I do. And I think controlling the clock and considering the clock is a critical part of understanding what you should be trying to achieve and how you should, why you should be trying to achieve it. And then also looking at this, we can then think about setup. So if we know that I'm going to try and score a 3-turn score, I'm probably going to have to shove a sideline, probably. And this setup, while it's good because it's deep, it's bad because it's not covering the flanks. Chevrons here would be the better play, because then I've got no space I can steal in turn 6. And one of the other things we want to try and do here is probably shove both flanks, because that then pulls the defense apart. So he's got an extra reroll. Something I will talk about on stream when you get through in a three-turn offense is what can you possibly do to not turn a 3-turn offense into a 2-turn offense. And the idea here is that you take space in turn 6. Must take space in turn 6. And I think you start by building a shove on one side, and I'd very much like me to start shoving something on the other side as well. So I think it'd be a mistake at this point to send both centaurs down one side. He's only got 3 fast players as well. Oh wow, who was that? Regen. So it'd be nice to come and take a bit of space over here. And I think at that point, I don't know whether I want to... Yeah, let's pause this for a second and think this out, right? So if I shove both centaurs here, I'm really, really, really obviously saying, hey, I'm going to go and score down the right flank. If we send one of the centaurs here, then we're splitting our ability to be able to deal with anything. I think that's a mistake. I think that centaur could probably just sort of stay put. Put that centaur there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just go and be stood here. Certainly here. So you need to throw one go for it at this, so that you've got a centaur and a goblin to go left, and you've pushed a centaur and a goblin to go right. So you're sort of semi-bluffing that you're going to go this way. Of course you would if you were given the choice, but I think that's the play. I think that's a mistake by shoving this guy in. Please tell me we put this guy up here. Yeah. This is absolutely a reroll. And then now think about where the rest of this play needs to go. So if I run the ball, I think we would stood here. So we moved it 2 squares, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can be anywhere along here. Now, I think, so long as you can hand off to this guy, you're okay. 1, 2, so we count backwards from 1, 2. He's going to block this guy forwards, and the mummy is going to be stood in that square. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can probably be there. That's as far that way to the left as we can be. I bet that's luck. That's more luck than judgment, everyone. By the way, that wasn't thought through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so that was the square we could stand in. And it'd be quite okay to rush left at this point. The 2 centaurs are very quick; they can get across the field and be left. So this white can only go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he can only be across as far as here. So if there is a gap, ooh, he's done a very good job there. Actually, I like this from our opponent. He's done a very strong job of not overcommitting. However, I think we can push this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we don't need to hand this ball off because it's a 3-up. So if we were stood there, that's 6. Count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So being stood on the 10 square lets me score. So count forwards again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to be stood there. So the very first action we need to throw this turn is a go for it onto the 10 square. We have to do this. We probably also want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then at some point we're going to need to go for it there, so that we've got an alternate scoring threat on the other side, because that means he's got to respect that threat, and that will take one of these 2 people away. Even if it's just the mummy, that's fine. We've got a 2 dice block here, and I think looking at this right now, it'd be really nice. It'd be really nice from a getting the best out of this turn point of view. Throw that block, push that there, throw the push, throw this guy into that square there, and then blitz through the ghoul, and see what we get. But I think you've got to throw. I think you've got to do this. Oh no! Oh okay. So that was to try and tie the mummy up. Okay. All right. That. Not sure about that. Okay. So the go for it there is a major problem. That's a big fail. Yeah. Bolton's Hill now has to drop back. I think I should have blitzed. So that ties up the mummy, which is nice. There's nothing else to be done here. There's nothing really else to be done. Because you shouldn't throw these blocks, because freeing up a zombie to come and be annoying over here would be a problem. So I think that's a mistake. Yeah, like why do that? Here's a free zombie to be annoying with. Just don't do it. Do you need to throw that block? So that's 2 blocks this turn. Do you need to throw them? Not sure about that. I think we can think about whether that was the right thing to do. I don't think it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. So we need go for it to score. Yeah, at this stage we are go for it to score. Without a reroll, it's about 66%, something like that. With a reroll, I think we're in the middly 80s. In fact, we should be in the middly high 80s, I would have thought, actually. Right, there's nothing else to be done. Just go and score. Don't roll double 1. Well done. Right, so that whole graphic that we drew a few minutes ago, we've now found the 30% out, and I think what we need to try and do now is just score on turn 8. We could probably score on turn 7. Undead 2-turning isn't particularly strong, especially into this specific Undead team, where there's only 1 ghoul and 2 whites. This team is quite slow, and I think we should be able to exploit that. While one thing I am looking at this now thinking, oh dear, is that we have got to deal with 2 mummies. I have got no guard, and I've got no way of dealing with them. So, a slow, ponderous drive is going to be a problem. So we're going to need one or both bull centaurs and the goblins. Right, what we need to go is bring the ball forwards, pretend like we're going to go left, and then go right, or vice versa. If we get the bull centaurs clogged up, I'll just start eating lots of blocks and we'll not get anywhere. So let's see how I deal with this actual drive. What we also don't want to do, that's good for us, what we also don't want to do is go down players early. That's a horrible kick. Okay, so we're going to take the ball from literally one end zone to the other. And these players are also misplaced because they're not on the halfway line, so it's a go for it to get the ball. So a lot of pushes. And then we'll blitz here with block. That's a lot of pushes, wow. Okay, so each one of those knockdowns was about 75%. It was 75%. We managed to not find all of them. Which is quite a lot different from his line of scrimmage, where he deleted a chuff. So I think we can consider ourselves hard done by there. That was also a mistake that I've just glossed over. Go for it onto the ball. No, it wasn't. Actually, it would have been if he had players further forward, but I think it's not because he can't really recover. So the fail state for us is not that bad. That's nice. Blocking things up on diagonals. You should always try and find those, because it's so difficult to get assists. But what he has done there is create a box. I wonder if we can find any use for that box. Yeah, I think we can do something with this box. As far forward as you can go. Because if we can push the mummy away, we can get a two dice somewhere. So we can do this with block. Blitz here. That's a POW. That gives me 2 dice on this guy as well. And then we will take the 1 dice, I think. Bring this guy in 1, and then take 2 dice. Sorry, take the 1 dice. We've got block. And if we don't, we're just gonna eat. We're gonna eat a 2 dice block anyway. Yeah. The zombies have done very well, haven't they? They've not taken any damage at all. They've been very, very resilient largely. I mean, I suppose they have taken a bit of damage, but they've regened it. But they have been a resilient team. And this is where I think straight out the gate now, I think we need to be looking at going that way. Is he blitzing? I think he should blitz this Chorf. Oh no. Into injury? Into injury, my god. Insult, please meet injury. My word. That was incredibly lucky. It's quite swingy as well because Chorfs really struggle with being players down into any team that's got more strength than them. And that's what this is right now. Can we equalise? No. Okay. And by following up and knocking this guy down, this bull centaur is a little bit stuck. A little bit on the stuck side. And I see a 2 dice uphill in my future. Oh, yuck. Don't think it's worth following it. Oh, there we go. We did equalise. Well done. Whichever bull centaur that was. Who was it? Who was it? It was Giraffe. Well done, Giraffe. And then we get a 2 dice uphill of our own. And then we get 2 more dice there. That's actually swung it back round again in my favour. And then I think we have to throw this 1 dice. Yeah, you throw it. That is the right play. Because I don't think you eat a... You're going to eat that, yeah. And at this point... Oh, I remember this game now. I remember how this plays out. This next turn, or this next sequence of play, I think is super interesting. Because we're going to be able to thought experiment it out. So, while he's moving his players around, if we look at how this board state might play out, right, we can either go back towards the mummies, which seems like a terrible idea, and rotate into the centre, or we need to sort of continue with our game plan of pushing down the left flank. And now that those mummies have completely stolen the centre, we are going to have to push the left flank. Have to. And this is the turn where we have a choice. Right. And I think there are really 3 choices here. So, choice number 1. This is number 1 choice. This guy could blitz here. We don't care if it's a push. If it's a power, it's brilliant. And then he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we could end up potentially in that square there. The Chorf blocker can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, sorry, that's 5. But we could try and end up with a V-shaped cage here and a bull centaur in that square there. It's pushing it a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But we'll be playing with 4 or 5 players, because we actually get this guy as well. So we'll have 5 players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. And he will have, let's count up from his point of view, 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5. So it'll be 5 plays 5, right? Although it's 5 plays 4 because this one's actually down and not really going to be doing anything. And I think straight out of the gate, just thinking about this, I'm going to have to come up with a really good solution if I don't make that play. So what about 1, 2, 3, 4, blitz here. Now it's not 5 because I don't get my bull centaur. It's 4 versus potentially 3. And this guy can't follow, so he's going to guarantee to have the ghoul. In which case, this is a really bad idea because that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can be stood there. I can be stood there with the bull centaur, and the ball can go there. Now it's fairly safe and low risk, but I'm stuck here. This is a really bad trade for me, a really bad trade. So I think I've got to blitz with that bull centaur. And potentially, you could just hedge your bets a little bit and just blitz with the bull centaur, bringing it round here, and taking this cage and not really going anywhere. Now look at the turn timer, it's 13. We can stand for 1 turn. We don't have to go this turn, but we would have to go next turn, otherwise we won't get anywhere. And by going, I mean pushing forward into your opponent's half and stealing space. So I think the correct line of play here is to take the bull centaur on the far right and blitz. I don't think that's what I do, and I think we're going to get ourselves into a big pile of problems. Yep, I've taken the safe line of play, and actually, this is no good. This is no good at all. Not if I do what I'm about to do, because he's going to be able to counterplay by blitzing this bull centaur with his fast players. My ball carriers can be pinned against the sideline. If he knocks the bull centaur over, who doesn't have block, 75% chance, I'm not going to be able to blitz here either, and we have a problem. Now, if this is a stun or removal, maybe. Lucky Davo. Right. Not a good play, though, because I'm not going to get to play with this guy. We probably should have thrown 2 uphill here, because otherwise he gets to move this guy for free. Yeah. Like, this counterplay is just too easy. So the bull centaur falls over, as it is one to do. And our blitz is obliged to be here. So even being lucky, right, we're in trouble. And this was always going to happen where multiple chuff blockers are going to get eaten up. So how do we escape this? Well, you've got to blitz, pretty much. Oh my word. Okay, so you've got to blitz. It's got to be a power, so it has to be re-rolled. Jesus, it wasn't a power. Okay. Yeah, tag that. And there is now nowhere safe to stand. So, potato time. Go and stand over there. And look at the difference, not having the bull centaur in the right place. Big dodge, gets to go and stand in there. And actually that's turn. So I think the correct counterplay now is from him. Is dot. Yeah, you're going to dodge everything, aren't you? Dodge. 1D, so this is a 4. So it's 3 plus with a reroll, 3 plus, 4 plus, and he's made all the dice. Horrible stun. So we're now into, we need to pick the ball up with the bull centaur. Right. I don't know if I actually do this, but my first gut reaction to looking at this whole board state now is we need to throw a 2 dice block there to get this chuff blocker 1, 2, 3, 4. The second thing is we need to blitz this white with this this guy into this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blam. Block and follow, and then this is irrelevant because we'll pick the ball up and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll go and stand over there. We then put the white out of range. This one's out of range, and it's 2 dice uphill. You have to pick the ball up. Have to. but that's the play. I don't think there's anything else on. The only other way that you could try and solve... Well, the only other way you could try and solve this, actually, is not good enough because... So the other way to solve it is that this guy's edge 3, right? So what you could do is you could say, we'll block here, and then we'll take this guy, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you get 2 assists, so you can block here, and then you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But now what? What are you going to do? How are you going to defend that player? I think we have to use the strength 4. I think I have to. Because otherwise the counterplay from him is far too easy. I don't hate actually doing this line of play and bringing the goblin in to being a scoring threat. I think that's probably also wise, but I think the ball centaur on the sideline has to take some ownership here, do the blitz, and then this guy needs to go and pick the ball up, and we need to go and stand somewhere over there, because otherwise this is far too easy to solve from the counterplay perspective. Yep. Don't think I should have based there. And we should have inserted a blitz. Yeah. Because we could have knocked that guy over, and while we didn't make the 4+ with a reroll, we rolled 2, reroll 2. It's irrelevant what the dice rolls were broadly. The decision making is the thing that I'm trying to nail down here. I think that was a mistake. And by leaving that guy base, look, you've said, hey, have a free 2 dice. If that falls over, I'm screwed. So there's 2 mistakes in that turn. You can't be making mistakes on turn 14, 15 and expecting to get a result. Yeah, we shouldn't have based the ghoul. And now we've left ourselves too much to do. There's no way we score now. Actually, yeah, there is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That creates a T shape. You then take this bull centaur and blitz into the T shape, rolling a POW, obviously, pushing the ghoul into there, and then going 1, 2, 3. Oh, that doesn't work. So the bull centaur has to score. Okay, so you've just got to do the whole thing on a T shape, but you've got to roll a POW and you've got to 1 dice. Yeah? Or can we do it with this bull centaur? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. No. I think you do I think you T-shape it and 1 dice it. Yep. So we roll the push. So it's a 5-up pickup, 4-up dodge. We rolled another 2. Never mind. Yeah. So that actually was my own fault. We had a very good chance of winning that game, and threw it away, which is really interesting. So the turn ordering, there's just a simple mistake there. What do we learn? Don't make mistakes, I think. And also, what did I actually learn, if we're being facetious about it, is that having the bull centaurs way out of the game, they are the playmakers. Whenever they get isolated, which is something I said at half time, when they get isolated, we're in trouble. Don't let them get isolated and marked up by zombies. Haha! Oh no. Oh no. Cauliflower on 2 points, dead. Oh, that's a shame. So that KO as well. That power apode KO. We don't know if it had fixed it, but there was a 4 in 6 chance that it did fix it. So that the power apode KO would have fixed that problem. That was 2-star player points down the tubes. That's a shame. So, optimal play. There was a win here. What we actually ended up with was a draw. Let's see where the MVP goes and see if we leveled anyone. I don't think we managed anything to level. There was nothing I noticed. Oh. Okay, so we should have had a guard chuff blocker. Instead, it's dead. So don't power up. What have I taken away from this game? Don't power up stuff in turn 1, 2, 3, because ultimately that player is so removed. The game's not decided on turn 1, is it? So don't do that. 2, really think through turns 13 to 16 in terms of sequencing, and 3, don't let the bull centaurs get isolated. And if we stack that on top of start looking for simple plays, which is what we actually saw in game 2 as well. The simple play was the right play. I went for the big brain play again. I think that's a problem. So, as always, if you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to come and say hello in Twitch, then please do so. Streaming Wednesday night, Thursday night from 7 PM UK time, and Saturday and Sunday from around about 4 or 5 PM UK time. Link in the Discord to the Go Live notification channel where it tells you when we're streaming and what times and stuff. So, as always, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.